The wheel continues to turn. It turns when we're ready. It turns when we are not. It turns at the same speed, no matter how our perception shifts over the years. It just keeps turning. And so we find ourselves here at the beginning of the Unitarian Universalist Church year, yet another beginning. And saying it that way makes it sound a little humdrum, a little routine. And it can be, if we choose to make it so. Those who've paid attention for more than a minute know that beginnings are always available. Each morning, each mealtime, each moment. But this beginning, Ingathering, is more than just a fresh start we get with a new day. Ingathering is a dedication, a confirmation, a commitment ceremony, and a renewal of vows, all wrapped up in one. You didn't know you were doing all that when you got up this morning, did you? I invite you to the sacredness of purpose in being here at UUFD today. I am particularly glad to be here on this Sunday, this auspicious Sunday, when we're all invited to bring water that's meaningful to us, either literally or symbolically. And also, if I have my way, we are invited to wade in the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. A spiritual you probably recognize from the 19th century, sung by enslaved Africans here in the United States, and its meaning has generated some disagreement in the ethnomusicology community. The long-held consensus is that the words of the hymn referred back to the escape of the Israelites from Egypt, an echo of liberation in the biblical past, held out to those who might risk the flight for freedom from plantation life. The instruction to wade into the water is thought to be a skillful message educating those on the run that leaving the land for water will prevent bloodhounds from being able to track them. Wade in the water. Wade in the water to wash away the smell of all that you have become. Wade in the water to have a better chance at freedom. It's a compelling explanation. But then I get to that line about the trouble. Wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Why? Oh, why would I or someone on the run and imperiled want to get in water that God is going to trouble? I've been in troubled water, and I know you have too. And no thanks. No thanks. I firmly refuse to volunteer to wade in water that God or fate or chaos or entropy or natural consequences are knowingly going to trouble. So what is this all about? Other scholars offer a different view of the message in Wade in the Water. They refer to a story in the Christian Bible in the book of John that centers around a pool of water in Bethesda. The story indicates that folks with physical ailments would gather around the edge of the pool because from time to time, an angel of the Lord would trouble the waters. And when that troubling had occurred, folks who immersed themselves in the water would be healed. The spiritual asks only that the listener have faith that their time will come, get into the water, and at some point, God will trouble that water and heal whatever ails them. This is interesting stuff. And the particular researcher I was reading this viewpoint from argued that while some enslaved Africans did choose to escape and needed secret communications, many more stayed put out of fear and did their best to get through, get by, and overcome their hardship in place. He suggests that the idea of wading in the water is a call to enter faith. Wade in the water that God puts before you in terms of belief, and you'll be healed by those troubled waters. It's not an invitation that works for me. I lean anxious. Sometimes it takes a little more than that, but it's a plausible argument about the meaning of the song. Except for the words about the Israelites and Moses. See, the song then goes on to say, see that man all dressed in white. The leader looks like an Israelite. You can see why there's a debate. I am going to leave this, I promise. Just hang on. Today, we bring the symbolic water of our experience and our past to this place, to this shared sanctuary. We bring what we have, we bring who we are, and we symbolically pour it into this common container and mix it all up. Some churches drink their combined water. You kind of need to let folks know that's what you're going to do ahead of time, so that you don't get backyard trough water in the mix. Some churches dole out the water for use in houses. Some churches use the shared water to nourish a tree on the premises. I don't think we need to do that today, but it's a nice idea. Holding ours in this bowl, we've not really completed the assignment. We've brought something, maybe hastily gathered, and that's okay. I'm a hasty gatherer of last minute necessities. And we've given it. Now what? What are we doing with this new thing that we have created, this new life that results from our combined contributions? Are we wading in this water? Are we standing on the shore? The song tells us liberation and healing are only available if we actually get in. Just to be clear, since I don't actually consider myself a Christian, stories in the Hebrew and Christian Bibles are not the only ones that give this kind of power to water. In Hindu ceremonies, water purifies to make believers ready to interact with sacred spaces and holy entities. It conveys prayers and blessings to the gods and returns the blessings of the gods to the believers. It's a miraculous conduit. A Buddhist story tells us that troubled water will show its value if we can just wait and let it settle. The Cherokee called the Tennessee River the Long Man and believed its waters were the source of all wisdom, the cure of all ills, whose hands nurtured their very lives. The Quran cites water as the source of all living things and refers to it as, and I love this, celestial bliss. To continue this world religion survey on water, we might ask ourselves, why biblical religions get so much attention when examining the meaning of this hymn that was sung by enslaved Africans? Would it not make sense, and would it not be the ultimate code switch to weave West African wisdom into the hymn, approved for the enslaved person who had converted as a measure of safety? In West African religions, water is used for purification, for sacrifice, for blessing, and for cursing. But most importantly, Water is seen as a sacred conduit. It is the channel to reach the holy, the divine. The water is where you meet God, or the God of your understanding. Further, West African religions posit that everything that exists is in relationship, and the relationships are subject to conflict. God is in the water, whatever that word means to you. The divine comes through the water. That which is holy is only possible because of the water. That's what the ancients tell us. The spirit of life is in the water. Goodness is in the water. Life itself is in the water. Hope is in the water. Peace, joy, progress, all of it in the water. We have a bowl of water, a symbol of all of us combined together in a bowl, making God, making community, making life. Dear ones, you understand the metaphor. The church, and I don't mean the building, I mean the people, is the bowl. You are the bowl. You are what make God, joy, peace, possibility, hope, the spirit of life, healing, liberation, all of it. Community, building it and living in it, creating through it and collaborating is the closest we get to divinity. It is a vehicle for transcendence and untold creativity and growth. It is our best hope for making the world that our shared values call us to. But to do that, to live that, to experience all of that, we must wade in. You must not just bring yourself symbolically. You must enter into this thing that we create together with all that you are. Your past, your experience, your hearts, and consciously choose to have faith in one another with that precious cargo. I say that like it's easy. I know better, but it is simple. You must actually immerse yourself in the community that exists, or strive to make it the community that you need. You must actually allow yourself to feel this shared community. You must open yourself to being affected by that which we do and by all that we bring here together and all that we bring as individuals. You must actually leave the shoreline and get in to claim whatever rewards your version of faith allows you to imagine. These 2 years have hurt us. Individually, communally, nationally, globally, we have withdrawn from so much with good reason. And our reality in this moment is that we must learn to build beloved community in the circumstances that exist. We must remember what we used to love and resurrect it. We must imagine new ways of connecting that honor our vulnerabilities. We must awaken the spirit of love and allow it to guide us back together. Yes, there is risk and work, and there is joy and love and peace and community. The waters will be troubled and calmed, muddy and clear. Some days the waves will crash against our chests, and we will hold fast to one another in order to withstand the tide. We may even be upset with one another as we hold hands and hearts through the trouble. We can do that together if we're all in. Today is our ingathering. I called it a beginning, and so it can be if we choose to make it so. by reaffirming our commitment to this faith and to one another, and taking one step further into the water, whatever that means for you. Reaching out to one another and to this community, finding ways to be in touch with folks who cannot be here in person, helping with projects, laughing with friends, making plans to do things together, remembering who we've been in the past and finding our new path forward together, hearts, hands, and heavenly hopes, all in the water. It's time to wade in.